Hi, Don.
Hi, Jacob.
It's Christmas!
Yay!
Ho, ho, ho. Look, I got my Christmas socks on. And my shorts. That hurt a lot.
You remembered your Christmas socks, but
Sure.
not your belt.
Yeah, that's fine. Got a shirt on. My Santa hat. Eggnog.
Cheers.
I haven't had eggnog in like probably 20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
We try to have it every Thanksgiving. And then, like, a little bit at Christmas, too.
Oh, it's thick. That sip was like 1,000 calories, wasn't it?
So I only poured us a teeny tiny little amount
All right.
to go with our cookies.
We'll try those later.
Okay.
All right.
Also, these are the orange white chocolate chip ones.
I just like regular chocolate chip, man.
Well, that's why I put that one closer to you.
Didn't we have this conversation before?
I know, that's why those are closer to you, but just letting you know.
Well, it's a Christmas episode.
Yes.
So, first off, am I getting holiday pay?
Time and a half, for sure.
Times 0?
Time and a half times
Zero.
no monies is no monies.
All right. But we don't really have much to talk about because it's Christmas.
Yeah, we decided not to have like a main topic because it's Christmas.
I like
And, you know, we just decided to be jolly. And
I'm going to be jolly after 10,000 calories of eggnog. I can't suck it in anymore. Like, I'm at my max sucking now.
we're going to need a bigger desk to
Yeah.
hide behind.
I still think we should go over what we shot, though,
Okay.
even though it's Christmas.
Okay.
We're still working.
We are still working.
Go ahead. You can start.
Okay, so I actually had like a little bit of a lighter week this week.
What?
I know. I don't know how.
Because the pre-show said differently.
Because you're not spending 8 hours a week editing the podcast.
That's not true. AI does it for us. Her name is Aiello.
Yeah, AILO.
For your Patreon backers, watch the pre-show. Oh, wait, we don't have one. All right.
Yeah, so I only had 3 jobs this week, which was great. But going through my calendar, there was like tons of hour time blocks just for editing because I was so
still time.
behind on editing. So I had the family portrait from last week to edit. I had naturalization ceremony photos to edit. I had an album to, I had to get a proof for an album out to a client so I could order the album.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, so it was a lot of admin work this week, but I did have a wedding out in Mount Dora at the Lakeside Inn, and it was an interesting setup. It was like the ceremony was out by the lake. I don't know, have you been out there? So the ceremony was out by the lake, like near the gazebo.
Yeah.
And then the reception was right there. That was it.
Okay.
So I was with them earlier for like getting ready and then all the wedding party portraits and all that kind of stuff and the first look. And so I was still with them for like 6 or 7 hours, but the guests themselves were only there for like 2 hours, I think, maybe 3. I felt so bad though, because we did a few pictures right after the ceremony because the bride wanted pictures down by the lake. But guests could be arriving and would have seen her, and she didn't want the guests to see her.
Yep.
So we were all the way up. You know, there's like that little garden next to the main building. We were in that little garden because there's hedges all around. You can't really see in.
All right.
But she didn't want that for wedding party pictures. So we did them up there, but then she decided, no, I do really want them down here. So we did them again. And then I took the 2 of them for pictures along the lake. And by the time we got back, which was only 20 minutes, all of the food was gone. They didn't get any of their appetizers.
Save anything for anyone.
No one pulled them a plate. Nothing. There were like a few grapes left, and that was it. And then they had a small cake to cut, and then they had like a cupcake tower, and there were like 3 cupcakes left on the tower.
Dang, these vultures at this point.
I know. It was so bad. I felt so bad. And it was, you know, the time change has already happened, so it gets dark. So we were literally out there in the dark. No light. They had a single string of market lights. And that was it.
Perfect.
Like, no other lighting.
Just perfect.
Just darkness. So I had that. And then I had another naturalization ceremony at the courthouse. So these are once a month if I'm shooting them every month. And I was like, I will not go shoot another one before having sent out the previous one. So that's a lot of admin work, though, because I have to edit the images and then I email the digital copy, and then order a print to be mailed to each individual person. And this past time we had like 52 people, I think.
Dang.
So that takes like
If I did my math right, that's 500 prints.
takes a very long time. So so then the naturalization ceremony for this month, and then we had a bar mitzvah together.
We did.
Yay! So I met with the family earlier in the week to do photos at the temple.
Yeah.
And normally we do the photos in the morning, but she didn't want to take the kids out of school. So we arranged with the rabbi and cantor to go in the evening, like at 4:00. And in that temple, they have these stained glass windows across the top. So at 4:00, the sun is coming in the stained glass and it's lighting up the whole bima. It was so pretty.
Something you'd never get to do because it's usually at 6 in the morning.
Well, I mean, the sun is just always on the other side of the building, but it was so pretty. So I got to do that, and then we had the party.
Yeah.
At the Westin.
It's actually a pretty short party for us, though.
Yeah, it was a short party. We were only there for 3.5 hours, so it was just enough time to do all the fun stuff, get some open dancing time, the hora, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was my week.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was probably about the same amount of shoots, too. And the same amount of editing, too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for the wedding we shot
Mm-hmm.
just a week before. I had a wedding at Port Orleans, Riverside. A little 6-hour wedding, which, again, I know we talked about this, but such an underrated resort.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I'm there, I'm like, why do we not shoot here more?
I know, with the mansions and with the wheel and the water.
Everything looks great there. Family photos, everything. The ceremony was at the Magnolia house, but, the garden. And found out, and maybe because I haven't been there in a year probably, but they put turf or artificial turf down. So the grass looks actually fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Not so sometimes if it's busted up or missing a big patch. Not a mo.
Yep.
Same problem though with you is that someone forgot that it gets dark at noon and the ceremony was at 5:00.
Mm-hmm.
So without a first look,
Mm-hmm.
at 5:00, ceremony at 5:30.
That's real dark.
Get real dark. Real dark. But we got everything, and then the dessert party at somewhere. It was at the UK. It was at UK Lockside, Dockside.
In Epcot.
In Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Epcot.
With fireworks.
Sorry. With fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to know how to shoot fireworks, check out the latest episode 6 weeks ago.
If you're watching this on YouTube and I figure out how to add videos to the cards and the eye and all that, I'll try.
She won't. Spoiler. So that was a good wedding. And then I had a wedding as well at Shades of Green. It was like back-to-back Disney. Even though Shades of Green is a weird one where it's Disney property, but it's also not Disney property. It's like a sovereign nation. It's like the Vatican within, has its own security, its own borders.
It is.
When I used to work for Disney, I kind of felt that way sometimes about the Swan and Dolphin 2, where it's like how when we have an embassy in another country, it's technically our.
Right.
So I felt like that's a different embassy where I don't have any.
We have no jurisdiction.
Yeah, no jurisdiction there, no power. But
did you get to see Elizabeth
not this time, but I have seen her a few times. And shout out Elizabeth. She was my. I don't know what she is. She was some manager of events there. So I got to see her, and we actually sat down and talked for a while. Elizabeth was and she's not old. She's only 18 years old. But she was a Disney planner for a long time, too. She's actually a florist. This is not the Elizabeth Davis podcast, so I'll stop. We need to tag her in this just to be like, what are you talking about? Why am I brought up? So anyway, the first time I met Elizabeth was 2011.
Okay.
So anyway, but Shades of Green, also underutilized. I know this sounds weird, but it's prettier than I think people think it would be. There's lots of good spots to take people. That whole area with the gazebo and the little waterways is pretty. If you really want to trek, the big waterfalls out front.
Yep.
I like the little private, if the sun isn't too harsh, depending on the time of day, that little back, hidden
that little back patio where they do the ceremonies.
Mm-hmm. So then I called Elizabeth Davis. Sorry. And then I had a meeting. This was on Wednesday. I had a meeting with one of the mother who is running the show of a big wedding I have coming up. Mm-hmm. So I met with her and the planner, and like I said, it's a big one. Mm-hmm. Dawn couldn't make it.
Nope.
She couldn't do it.
I have a bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
I think that day.
But it's a 12-hour wedding. It is lots of moving parts. Mm-hmm. I'm really looking forward to it. Like, it's going to be a lot of fun. But this is that point where I'm like, okay.
You're going to be in so many different buildings in the course of one day.
Correct. Back, forth. Let's see. I can 1, 2, 3, 4. And then back to the original building. And within that building, 2 different places.
So 7 locations.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's like almost every hour you're switching.
Pretty much. Well, and then one location twice. I only counted it one time because we go to a location, go to the ceremony, go back to that location, go back to the original location, then go,
You're going to be all over the place.
But I'm looking forward to it. But it was a good last meeting to finally get things nailed down because they are out of town. They don't live here, but they come down a lot. So, like, and the mom, who is basically the client, she wants kind of everything's done through the planner or in person. So there's not a lot of direct communication. So it's a lot of third party. So anytime I can get face to face and just be like, here, tell me exactly what you want.
Right.
So it was a successful meeting. Then again, I finished up with the bar mitzvah we just talked about. Woo-hoo. Yeah.
That was fun. It was a fun one too because they had like the arcade games for the kids. Yeah. They had like the basketball and the skee ball and
I definitely played NBA Jam before they came in. Don't tell them.
So while I was out with the adults in cocktail hour.
Well, the kids were messing. They weren't any good. I had to show them who's boss. Bunch of nerds.
That's funny.
That was it was funny because that was the second event in a row where I had I know this is random, but a build your own pasta bar or make your own pasta bar. And like, no matter how many times I see it, it never, like, no one ever understands.
Well, because it wasn't set up properly, right? You said some people were just taking like plain noodles.
Yeah. Because the noodles should have been like, they were there for show, and then you just tell them what to put on, and then they make it like fresh. But people were putting the like plain noodles on, and then like.
Also, that was the site of the bad tuna. No, the avocado.
The avocado.
So it was one of the appetizers, I guess, but it was out during the whole meal. I don't know what it was.
It was just a station of food.
Yeah, but it was like an avocado with tuna in where the pit would be in the avocado, except they had taken the skin off the avocado. So it was just.
Well, then I tried to steal it for you in a napkin, and when I brought it out, the napkin had become the skin. So I was just like, "Here you go."
Oh, it was so bad. It didn't even taste good. That was the worst part.
Sorry.
So.
But if you're thinking about having a make your own pasta bar, just call me first, and I'll explain how it's done. Because it's a great idea, but I've seen some not like good uses of it.
Yes.
The operation is just off.
Yeah.
That's what we shot.
We're slowly coming down off of busy season.
Once I get once I get past the big wedding, I'll be good to go.
Yeah. Once I get to 2025.
Once I'm dead, I'll be fine.
It'll be fine. So, cool. Well,
Christmas.
Since it's Christmas week, we thought we would talk about our favorite gifts that we ever got as a kid.
As a kid. Has to be as a kid.
As a kid.
Okay.
Now, I have an awful memory. So I had to ask my parents. They're like, well, if you have to ask us, you obviously didn't love it that much.
Oh. Apparently.
So you go first. What are some of your favorites?
I remember one, and I was probably like 6. I have a couple, but I got, do you know the Brio train sets? They're the wooden trains. Brio is probably Swedish for all I know, but they make all that. It's those wooden, they're modular where you just link them together and you can make everything.
Yes.
But Brio was the brand back in the day. And not only did I get one, but my dad had custom made a table and then made a full loop, which sounds like, oh, that sucked because like you didn't get to create it because then you can make your own. But for me, it was perfect because like it was legit. It had bridges and downs and garages and like all these cool things.
That's so fun.
It was glued down, but it didn't bother me at all because it sat in my room until probably 24. Maybe not that long, but at least until like, I don't know, I was probably in high school or something. And you could just play with it for hours. And I love that train set.
That's fun. I have a distinct memory when I was in 3rd grade going to see Santa and asking Santa.
Oh, so bad. Why do you like this? Santa. Okay, continue.
It was very much like Scott Calvin drinking the soy milk. Oh, goodness. Anyways, I have a distinct memory of going to the mall to see Santa and asking him for Nancy Drew books.
Did you go?
I did.
Okay.
I was a big Nancy Drew fan. And I remember him being like, how old are you? And you want Nancy Drew books?
You were 18?
No.
Oh.
I was in 3rd grade. So.
I read the Hardy Boys.
I read those too.
Okay.
And the Boxcar Children. And
Did you ever read any Beverly Cleary books?
Of course.
Beezus and Ramona? Okay, first off, Beverly Cleary is from Portland, Oregon.
Oh.
So she my people.
That's cool.
That's all I got. But
Okay.
I actually read those too.
We were watching Jeopardy the other night, and Judy Blume was one of the answers, or one of the questions.
You're so busy, but you're going to watch Jeopardy?
It was like at Thanksgiving when I was at my parents' house.
Okay.
And I was so mad at myself that I didn't realize that it was the answer. Because I read a lot of Judy Blume, too.
Not much of Judy Blume for me. I had a different type of puberty, but, you know. I'm glad that you got through it.
All right, what else for you?
One of my favorites of all time was probably like 15. It was the year Nintendo 64 came out. But for those who don't remember, it was impossible to get. So I had kind of asked for it, but it wasn't like I knew that it was impossible to get.
Yeah.
And that Christmas, not only did it snow, which is very rare in Portland, but then it froze over. And we lived kind of on this hill that had a view of like Mount Hood. So the entire side of the house was windows almost. And they were iced over on Christmas. Like you couldn't see out the windows. And I ended up getting sick like Christmas Eve, maybe 23rd. So sick that like on Christmas Day, I was dead. So that's how you know like when you can't even... I got up enough to be like unwrap presents. And my Santa from Santa was a 64. And this is how sick I was. I was like, oh my God. And then I went to bed. And then I went back to bed.
Gosh.
I didn't even play the Nintendo 64 until like 2 days later.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Poor little sad kid Jacob.
I just remember like it was just a crazy storm. You couldn't leave the house. And because Portland, where I grew up, is very similar to other cities where it doesn't actually snow that much. You can drive 45 minutes and you're on a mountain. But you're in a valley, so it doesn't snow that much. So when it does snow, city shuts down. Don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And I got, somehow my parents were able to find a friggin' Nintendo 64. Probably paid $90 for it because it was only $20.
The obscene prices back then.
Yeah. And, but then I just went back to bed because I was so sick. So sick.
Sad day.
Yeah.
So when I consulted with my mom on presents I was really excited about when I was little. I was thinking too when I was like little. Okay. I have a really bad memory.
Apparently.
But once she said everything, I was like, oh yeah, of course. Like that all makes sense. So Polly Pocket.
Polly Pockets are good.
Barbie. Funny side story. My sister and I were doing over my mom's closet for her Mother's Day gift one year when I was in high school. I think I might have even been a senior in high school. And we like took everything out of her closet and we put in new shelving and we were putting everything back. And we found 2 Olympic Barbies from 1996.
Are they like Beanie Babies? They're worth $200.
But my mom had stashed them in there. They were supposed to be Christmas presents. The year after the Olympics when I was in 6th grade and no one had seen them again until...
It might be worth something.
You know?
I think my inheritance is Beanie Babies. So I don't know how the market is on that, but I should look it up because...
I have a neighbor around the corner. They have a big, like, Beanie Baby Lane sign on their house.
Can we interview them? Can we bring them over?
Maybe you can sell them to that person. But then also, like, Light Bright.
Yeah. I never had a Light Bright, but I played with them.
So, yeah, my mom said I liked all the little, like, tiny things to play with.
I also, I obviously got lots of, action figure toys. That was always a big thing, but I was obsessed with one, and this is going to be a deep cut for those that know. It was a cartoon called Mask. M-A-S-K. And it standed for something that I cannot remember, so I had to look this up. And the toys, the whole point was okay, I should have Googled what does Mask stand for. Someone in the comments, tell me what it stands for. But the whole thing was like the little action figures, they're actually kind of smaller, but they had vehicles, and all the vehicles transformed into another vehicle. So like I had a Jeep, like this orange Jeep that would like flip up, and the part he was riding in would be a speedboat that would come out. Mobile Armored Strike Command with a K.
With a K. Can we get more 90s than that?
Yeah. It might have been like it was really early 90s, maybe late 80s. And so they had all these vehicles, and I had a few. And one Christmas, I got the Mobile Command playset, which was a gas station that was in the side of a mountain. And like there were so many play features where like the boulder on the mountain would pop up, and a guy when like a big laser cannon would pop out. The gas station would like flip down into an armored like base. Like it had all these moving parts and trap doors, and like even the gas pumps would flip up and they were little guns. Like,
oh my gosh.
I'm going to show you right here.
Okay.
Whatever you do, though, do not look up what people are paying for these toys, because I could retire if I had like kept
any of them. Yeah.
We're gonna put this. We're gonna show a picture of this on here. Don't you worry. But it was awesome. Doesn't look as awesome now.
Oh my gosh.
But it was also ginormous. It was like the size of this table.
That boulder.
But all these stuff moved. All this stuff flipped down and flipped up. It was called Boulder Hill. That was a huge, I would just remember. I mean, the box was bigger. I couldn't put my arms around the box. Remember they made toys. And again, I'm sure that thing probably cost $49.99 in 1991.
And now it's going for...
Yeah, $10,000. If you had one in the box.
So I also really loved stuffed animals. So over the years, there was like always different stuffed animals. And I still have a lot of them. So Alf.
Alf, like the puppet from outer space?
Yes.
All right.
Winnie the Pooh, but like the big Winnie the Pooh.
Sure.
Like at the time, I know it was a $50 Winnie the Pooh from the Disney store. In like elementary school, like long time ago. Lurky from Rainbow Bright. I don't think I have Lurky anymore. Fievel.
Dude.
Fievel Goes West.
Well, Fievel Goes West. I had a straight just Fievel Mouskowitz from the first one. Because when he goes west, he's wearing a cowboy stuff. The first one, if he's wearing his little...
Maybe it was from the first one.
Is he wearing his little, like, kind of...
His little, like...
Russian beret?
Yes.
Yeah, that's from the first one.
Okay, so then that's what I had. But again, like, a big one.
Mine could sit in a chair.
Yeah.
There are no cats in America, and the streets are filled with cheese.
I don't remember anything.
American Tail was my jam.
When I was a kid, we moved to Florida. But everyone was still up in New Jersey, so we would go up most Christmases to spend in New Jersey. And my mom's best friend would have us over at some point during the trip, and she had like a little den. Like there was like the nice formal living room, formal dining room, so we'd eat, and like the adults would sit in there. But then there was the den with the TV, and we would lay on the floor and watch Fievel.
Okay, it's not called Fievel. It's called An American Tail.
Okay.
You know when I first met you, I thought your last name was Maskowitz. So that's... Bring it full
Simple
circle.
Mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called American Tail, and it's an incredible journey of a little mouse who lost his family.
I have not watched it in many, many years, and I don't remember. But
The cats,
I don't.
they think they're good in America, but they find out they're not.
Nothing.
Okay. Release the secret weapon.
Nothing.
Oh my God.
You could be quoting anything right
you're the
now, and I would have
worst.
no idea.
Now, Five O Goes West, that is hot garbage. But the first one, An American Tail, classic.
Okay. What else you got?
Let's see, I got my action figures. I also one year got the Ghostbusters playset. I had a lot of playsets.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, I was an only child. So yes, I was spoiled. I didn't have to share my presents with anyone.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. It's a lot of, let's be honest, a lot of toys.
Mm-hmm.
And some clothes that I was like, ugh.
A
lot of toys.
As I got older, there was a lot of scrapbook supplies that came in on Christmas presents. Like, I'd have like the big albums and then the pages, and you would put the pictures and the stickers and whatever, and then like the protective sheets to go over it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Lots of scrapbooking.
And then it turned into some Jurassic Park toys. That's probably my
So
last. That's
when you
probably my
turned
last
18?
action figure like collection was Jurassic Park toys.
When you were 21.
Yeah, but I had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I didn't have a lot, but I had some. Do you remember toys? Crash Test Dummies. I mean, do you remember do you remember that was like
the
cartoon ads?
concept?
But then they made a cartoon, which then turned into a toy line, and they were the most fun toys because the little action figures, they had buttons on their chest, and when you pushed like the top button, it would pop their heads and arms off because they look like just the Crash Test Dummies. And
Right.
you push the bottom one, their legs would pop off. Then they had a car that looked like a test track, like original test track car.
Mm-hmm.
And you could actually smash it into a wall and it would crumple and deploy an airbag, which then would hit their chest and make their. It was awesome. Doors would fly off like it was designed to do that.
Right.
They had a whole bunch. Good toy.
So, speaking of toy,
I could go on.
a toy that we still enjoy
Yeah.
is Lego.
Yes, correct.
When did you first start getting into Lego?
Oh my God. Before I can remember. There's another thing that I would be a multimillionaire if I had kept all the Lego I had. Yeah. I looked at some of these prices and was like, uh-oh.
I don't think we had like sets. I distinctly remember the big red bucket.
Oh, I had sets.
Like the big, just filled with Lego, and then you just play with that. Just
I'm going to throw out some names here, and if you Lego people know, I had the original Black Seas Barracuda, which is the original pirate, well, not the original pirate ship, but the big pirate ship. That is, if it was new in the box, you could probably get $5,000 for it. I had the Futuron monorail transport system, which was the gray monorail track that was in space. I've seen that go on up for like $10,000 if it's new in the box,
right?
Which I didn't have the box, but like the track alone is worth so much money because they don't make it. They don't make that track anymore. I had that whole thing.
That's insane.
Yeah, I had like the Lego castles. I didn't have the yellow castle, which is the original castle, but I had some of the actual castles that had the base plates that were like vacuum molded. So they had levels and you'd build all over that. Had it.
Yeah.
My mom sold it like at a garage sale for
$4.
Yeah. Some guy with a mustache was like, yes, and ran away.
Your mom was like, I'll give you $20 if you get all this stuff off my driveway. Man. I know. I think about that with like some of the Barbies and stuff that we had. But I mean, every toy that we had was played with and destroyed.
That's why it's worth so much more now because everyone tries to like buy these toys now. They're going to be collector. They're not because everyone's collecting them. You know what I mean? Unless it's a super, super small print run, there's not really any collectability anymore.
That's true. If everyone is just getting them to collect.
Correct.
Yeah, there was rarity in the fact that everyone else played with it, but then those few were not.
And back in the 80s, 90s, no one was buying them to collect them. They were just buying them to play with them.
Right.
So.
Right. Or in my house, my sister was frequently like pulling the heads off of dolls and like, oh, Cabbage Patch. I don't know if my Cabbage Patch doll was a Christmas present though. But I did love my Cabbage Patch doll.
Did you ever have a Teddy Ruxpin?
Was that the one that talked?
Yeah, you put a cassette in it and it would like...
I
didn't have one, but they scared the bejesus out of me.
I can't remember.
Yeah. I mean, I had a friend who had one and they were like...
Like, I feel like I have memories of being around one, but I don't know if it was ours. And I feel like that would have stuck around.
They should make a new updated one.
Like,
Teddy Ruxpin, call me.
Like a horror film?
Yeah. It basically already was, so.
Let's see. Oh, and obviously bicycles. I remember that. That was like
I did get a bicycle one Christmas.
That was a big present.
I remember one, because this was past toy, but this was a big one. I got a, my first boombox. And it wasn't just a boombox. It was very similar to the one that you still have. I don't even know how to pronounce that name. AIWA. AWA, you know what I mean? That was the...
But like with the big speakers on each side. And like the levels for the different types of media.
And then the tray would pull out and you could put 5 CDs in there.
Yep. Yeah. I think teenage years, there's beepers.
Yeah.
And boom boxes and Walkmans.
Because I got a boombox at one point, but it was, like an actual caravan. But it was, when I got upgraded that, I remember that for Christmas. That was a big one. I was like, oh yeah. And mine came with like the surround sound speakers that were wired, that I was running wires through my room that was, 8x8 probably.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I do remember one year, I asked my parents about it and they didn't remember. But we went to New Jersey for Christmas. And so, Santa has to visit while we're gone.
Absolutely.
But we're not there to like let him in. And so we came home and, I left the house with my parents to go to the airport and there were no presents. And then I came home and all of our presents were out in the living room. And I was like, how did it happen? They're like, Santa came. But one of those, I think that year was a bicycle.
I definitely got a bicycle at one point. I wouldn't say it's my favorite gift. It was almost like, yeah, damn right. Give me a bicycle. You want me to go outside and run around? I didn't ask for it, but...
I also think there was a year where new soccer cleats was a present, which was a big deal. Because I needed new soccer cleats.
It shouldn't be a present.
And but new nice ones?
Okay.
Like good ones? Like Adidas ones?
Adidas ones, not
I
Adidams. I also had, I remember one, do you remember electronic hot shot basketball?
The little...
Yeah, and you flip the ball in and the thing would move, and it was louder than... I'm sure my parents wanted to throw that thing in the trash.
Yeah.
That was a... Blink.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I just remember that one. I remember that one because all my family came over, and it was Christmas Eve, and I think my uncle got to sleep in my bed, and I had to sleep on the floor of my own room because you're a kid. Not even a mattress in the 90s. Just sleep on the floor.
Maybe a sleeping bag.
A sleeping bag, but on the hard floor.
Yeah.
And I remember
You're resilient then.
Yeah. But I remember the door was open and the light was on because I was probably scared. And I couldn't go to sleep because it's Christmas Eve, just tossing and turning, right? Mm-hmm. And then at one point, I kind of hear some noise and the hallway light comes on. Remember, my door is open and my head is literally facing the door. Mm-hmm. And I kind of look up and there goes my mom with a whole mess of presents. And one of them was the electronic hot shot basketball. Uh-huh. And I just remember her going, hey, what? She got mad at me. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't do anything. So I got spoiled with that gift. Mm-hmm. I still liked it though.
Mm-hmm. That's fun.
Yeah. So like I said, spoiled, only child.
Mm-hmm.
My
sister and I had to share.
Came over from Russia as a Moskowitz and then tried to find a new life in America. So I'm glad you made it.
I'm really glad you're rewriting my life story for me, since I don't remember anyway.
An American Dawn.
Yeah.
You want to try these cookies? You want to finish on a holiday cookie?
I'm going to have a chocolate chip because I've eaten too many of the orange ones.
I don't like anything else but chocolate chip. See, you said you made these, right?
Mm-hmm. They're not my best. I don't know what happened.
You can't mess up chocolate chip cookies.
I know, but...
I mean, you can, but...
I really don't know.
Let's do some ASMR in the microphone.
It's different. The second batch, I sprinkled sea salt on top of all them. Those are much better. But I used salted butter and put in the salt that was on the recipe, so I don't know.
Did you put any nacho cheese like I asked? That's usually what I like. I like my cookies chewy, though, and moist. I do not like, rock hard cookies. Mm-hmm. But.
Yeah. This one actually is pretty good. This might be one of the salted ones, though.
I'll give you a 7.2.
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
Okay. That's respectable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For, first attempt.
More. I give the eggnog a 1-2.
You have a little bit more to finish.
It's all yours.
It's only 2,000 more calories.
What do you want for Christmas this year?
Oh my gosh.
What'd you ask for?
I have not asked for a single thing. I don't have the brain space. Actually, I take that back.
See, liar.
I asked for silicone utensils for the kitchen.
God, we're old. I asked for a knee brace.
Okay, but you know how, like, all the research is out that the, like, standard black kitchen utensils that everyone's been using is, like, leaking poison into our food.
It's too late for that. I've given up.
So, yeah, we have one brand of silicone utensils that get it right.
And then in 10 years, I'll be like, holy silicone.
I know.
Beep that out.
I know. There are so many times that I think about the show The Good Place, and I'm like, it's real.
Yeah.
We're there.
We're in the bad place.
Like,
we've always been in
we're
the bad
all
place.
in the bad place.
Holy forking shirt balls. What did I ask for? I don't really like, so the things I like, obviously I don't really ask for camera equipment because it's a business thing anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to just be buying all that. Although.
But every once in a while someone will want like to do it, so I'll do something very small and I'll be very exact. You know.
Like memory cards.
Yeah.
Or batteries or.
Things I don't want to spend money on. But I will be I send them links and be like, it has to be this. You cannot deviate. Or you can give a gift card, but.
Yeah. I did ask for like a new hand mixer.
Don't make that symbol. Don't make that gesture.
A dust buster. You know, like really boring grown-up things.
Yeah.
Nothing fun.
You know, obviously I'm very into board games too.
Yes.
I'm the kind of the same way though that I don't ask for usually board games, and if I do, like I guess I'll buy them myself. But I'm very specific. Like you have to buy this because you can't. What you're gonna buy me, I'm not gonna like. Like same with camera stuff. Like,
right.
Don't just buy.
It's too
Don't go to
specific.
Target and buy a board game. I will give you a list of board games that I've authorized you to purchase if you so declare.
Right.
So I put a couple expansions on there, like $10, $15 expansions.
Someone could get you like Lorcana.
I have enough Lorcana.
I mean, can you ever have?
Yeah, you gotta keep moving on. I'm always in hunt of new games.
We did pick up the new decks that just came out, but just like the starter deck.
Yeah, I moved on.
I'm not ready to move on yet.
That'll get you sucked in. You gotta keep going. Welcome to the hobby.
Yeah.
And then I asked for. I didn't really ask for anything though. I'm an old man. Like I can buy everything
Christmas
myself.
Is just not the same.
Plus, I gotta afford all the kids' presents. So I was like, why am I gonna buy anything?
I was going through like all the presents that we have for everyone, and my sister and I try to jointly buy things for our parents, right? And then there's like Ryan's family, the rest of my family, everyone. As far as what's in my house, my sister has a lot of the stuff at her house, or we've already been shipping it to my parents' house. Here, I have one present for each family member, and then 6 presents for my nephew.
Right.
And then I just
That's
keep
how it goes.
buying more for him.
The kids get more and more, and you get less and less.
Which is totally fine. I'm totally fine with it. I know all the gifts that I got him, he's going to be so excited about. Because he's like in that age where he has certain things he's like super, super, super excited about. So you just keep getting those.
Yeah, it's very easy.
So he's going to have a new little, like he loves garbage trucks and recycling trucks and delivery trucks. Sure. So he has, we got him like a little recycling truck, and it comes with little cardboard pieces that you can sort. Like the side of the truck has the little things to
Jeff
sort them
Bezos
into.
is literally salivating right now. He's like, gotcha.
And then I got a book about garbage trucks, and then he loves
Make sure
those.
you beep all this out.
Yeah, because he's listening to the podcast.
I just watched our Wrapped. He's our #1 fan. They just put it on and it puts him to sleep.
Not even 2 years old.
Yeah, every night they just put that on and he's like out like a.
Yeah. So I'm excited to give him his gifts. Because I think this year he'll be excited for them. Whereas last year he was too little. He didn't really know what was going on.
Well, I got for Crystal So I got her, and then I want you to beep this and keep beeping it. And every time I say like, and then, but unbeep that part. And then something this, like it's huge, and then beep, and then we're still beeping, and we're still beeping. And then after that, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 of those. And that's it. And then you can stop beeping now. And that's why I got Crystal.
Editing Dawn here. I didn't feel like doing all of that work to bleep out all the things that Jacob was saying. So I'm going to leave it all in there. And Jacob doesn't listen to the full episodes anyway, so he'll never know. So we'll just keep it our little secret. Okay? All right, cool. Thanks. She's going to be so excited.
I know, right? All right.
Cool.
Well,
all right.
That's it. Merry Christmas, Dawn.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Happy Mousekowitz.
Thank you.
Whatever you're celebrating.
Thank you. Enjoy your American Tail.
I'm going to watch that now.
Where can we watch it?
So there's a website called justwatch.com, and you can type in anything, and it'll tell you where it's actually streaming.
Oh.
Or if it's streaming, or if it costs money. So let's find out live.
Let's find out.
I found this out big time because I was tired of an American TSIL is not correct.
Not streaming
It's
anywhere.
from 1986.
Jeez.
You can rent it on Apple TV for $4 and Prime Video for $4 and everywhere for $4, but it is not streaming on anything.
Okay.
You can also buy it for $14.99 on Apple iTunes
That is
as well.
ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Merry Christmas, y'all.
Right.
Happy
Bye.
holidays. God. Ham. Ow now, brown cow. Ow now, brown cow.
I say we just leave this all in.
I'm okay. So if you care to find me. It's really good. You should see it.
That was a terrible.
It was. This has to go. All this is just, we've already started. All right, so today it's okay.